Hello and welcome to episode 6 of Titan Talk. I'm joined by 3 former Holy Trinity softball players, including head Holy Trinity softball coach Megan Butterworth, former Holy Trinity softball coach and current coach at Molloy College and athletic director Susan Cassidy-Lyke, and former Holy Trinity player Carla Campagna, who's also the head softball coach at Adelphi University, along being an assistant athletic director. How are you all doing?
Great.
First question for you guys. How has this time away from the field been for you all? And we'll start with Megan on this one.
Yeah, it's been definitely tough to not see the girls and see my kids every day. We had such a quick week of tryouts, a great weekend actually, and then we had a few practices before this whole thing went into effect. And it was just disappointing because I feel like we were going to start to do great things when the season, arrived, but we got cut very short.
And Carla?
So it was tough to tell, the current players, especially because I had 3 whose, program got cut. So to tell them that their senior year wouldn't happen was kind of tough, and everything was kind of packed into like less than 48 hours. So just telling them, as soon as we found out was something that we try to, let them know as soon as possible. But I think we've found the best way to communicate, obviously through Zoom. And it's been nice just to see their faces, and I think they enjoy them because they get to see each other and just communicate. So like the first 10 minutes of every Zoom call is a little chaotic because they're all talking to each other. So, yeah.
And Susan?
Well, yeah, it's definitely challenging with this new normal. It's definitely a big adjustment for me. It's the first time in 30 years that I haven't been coaching in the spring. And as you know, like everything I do, coaching and athletic director has to do with the student athletes. So not seeing them and dealing with them on an everyday basis has been somewhat strange. But as Carla mentioned, with new technology, which I'm trying to get as savvy as possible with it, I've been able to communicate with them on Zoom calls and such. And so that has helped out a little bit. I've been pretty busy with talking with our peers in terms of different strategies for when we do open eventually for classes and when we do resume athletic activities.
Very nice. Megan, like we mentioned before, you were a former player and you started your first year coaching. What was it like being named the head coach of Holy Trinity?
That was pretty surreal. I've always loved everything about the school as a student, and helping out over the last few years whenever possible. But when I was asked to be the head coach, I kind of thought like it finally happened. I had always hoped to go back and teach and coach there. So that was just very special. I was really excited to, not only be in the school, in the classroom, but to work with the softball team in March.
You didn't get to coach in the game, but what was it like coaching the first practice on that field that you played on?
That was also very surreal and pretty exciting. We had a great weekend of tryouts. We had some open gyms leading up to the first weekend in March. So that was getting everybody very excited for the season. And, we went back to that field where we had so many memories from when I played in 2006 through 2009. So it was kind of like, passing the torch a little bit, trying to bring my experiences into our maybe 3 or 4 practices that we had.
Now going over to Susan, you won 9 league titles and 4 state championships with Holy Trinity. What was it like being a coach at Holy Trinity?
Oh, it was a great experience. I'm glad they gave me an opportunity. I had some really special moments there. Trinity's a great place to work, and an opportunity to go back there after playing there was awesome.
And then Carla, you had success with Susan as your coach with the Titans. What was that like for you?
It was great. I didn't really know how great it was till she announced that she was leaving. So, in the beginning it was tough because I chose Trinity because of how great the softball program was. And I remember going to my first open gym and she pretty much just said, okay, grab your glove, go out there. She had really no idea who anybody was because so many people, joined the open gyms, and it was intimidating. And then as the year went on, it was tough. I'm not going to lie. There were tough times. We joke about it now, but it was tough then. And, but when she said she was leaving to go to Molloy, it was like this feeling of like, oh no, who's going to coach us? This was great. So, I learned a lot, and then that's probably why I chose to go to Molloy. Well, I know that's why I chose to go to Molloy afterwards. So
that's great. And you guys have favorite playing moments playing at Holy Trinity? We'll start with Megan for this one.
Sure. The year that definitely stands out was 2007, which was the year we won the state championship when I played, and with Carla also. Actually, this is a Carla moment that stands out. We were playing in the semifinal game, and Carla, maybe you can correct me. We were definitely losing against More Catholic. Is that right? And Carla hit a home run, and I think it was like, it must have hit the fence as it went over. It was just so exciting. It was, divine intervention, and we had a win in that semifinal game in 2007 to bring us to the state championship. So that was pretty exciting.
And Carla?
So I would say that was one of them, but also, well, I have a few. The first one I would say was meeting Megan at Holy Trinity. We met in a gym class. So like that, we didn't even meet at a softball tryout. She threw the ball to first base playing dodgeball. And I was like, oh my God, this girl plays softball. I got to go talk to her. So that's how we met. And then my freshman year, I had a pinch hit moment, I think in the state championship at Hofstra. I don't know who we were playing. I don't remember. But I remember getting on and a run scored, and then I was re-entered because I wasn't the fastest runner. So that was really, I looked forward to that. And then in 2007, when we won the states again, it was great because Butter was on the team, and that was really memorable. So.
And Susan?
A lot of really good moments because we always had a lot of great players, but I think if I look back on it, it was probably in 2005 when we won the state championship. That was my last year coaching there. So we played against a highly touted More Catholic team in Staten Island on their home turf, and we managed to win. And I had already decided to go to Malloy, but I really hadn't announced it to any of the players yet. So the opportunity to go out on a winning note was good. And I think I felt at that time that I was leaving the program in good hands with some really good players. So I felt a little bit more comfortable about it.
And then you guys mentioned you all went on the Malloy, and you rarely see high school players going to play for their high school coach or go play for a coach that coached in their high school and have success in high school and college. You guys were able to do that at Malloy, winning one NEC regional, and then also winning two ECC championships. What was that like playing for Susan in college? And we'll start with Carla.
Okay. When I first got there, there wasn't much, I guess, winning tradition yet, and Susan was changing that. So when I got there, I didn't really know what to expect, just like I didn't really know what to expect or I should say at Holy Trinity. So when I got there, I knew that she was going to make a difference because she did at Holy Trinity with all those, after all those years. So it was tough. It was a lot of tough love. I would use those terms. And I was really excited because each year that I was there, better recruits were coming in, better people. And it was just so exciting as a player to see all those recruits come in, and that she was making a difference. So it was tough, but yet rewarding. And then, we won a couple games along the way. So it was fun.
Megan?
Yeah, so I had actually just missed Susan on the Holy Trinity coaching, and I had entered in 2006, which was her first season at Malloy, and I was definitely devastated about that. So I kind of followed in the footsteps of some Trinity people before me, and Carla being one of them, who had gone through Trinity, played for Susan a few years, and then went to Malloy. So I knew what to expect as far as how things were run because I had some good teammates to kind of fill me in, but I didn't know how good we were going to be. And just I felt every year I was learning so much more. We just continued to peak and grow all at the right time. And we lost some hard games throughout the season, but it really just got us ready for playoff time. 2 World Series trips my freshman and senior year, which was just something that I had not planned for at all. So that was very special.
And then Susan, what were those years like where you won one NCAA East Regional and 2 ECC championships with both Carla and Megan?
Yeah, well, I'm honored to have the opportunity to have coached both these great ladies. And I think a lot of it comes, as you know, Patrick, you're an alum from Holy Trinity. There's something special about a Holy Trinity kid. And they both have those qualities. They had a great work ethic. They were great teammates. They really participated well. They were strong in academics. And basically, they knew how to win. So for me to have them on my team, it was great. As Carla mentioned, I felt like Carla knew what to expect because she at least had the opportunity to play for me for 1 year. So she knew what it was going to be like when she came to Malloy. maybe a little bit amped up, but she had the idea of what it was going to be like. And for Megan, I figured she found out the stories, and if she still wanted to come, I knew that she was going to be a real Malloy Lion. So it worked out great. They fulfilled every expectation I had for them, and I'm grateful that they had opportunity to coach them.
Working at Malloy now and going to Holy Trinity, you see the similarities between the two schools. Both are smaller communities where everyone knows each other, gets along, and brings that good spirit with them. Also, both places are big in community service and athletics. How did going to Holy Trinity help you during your careers at Malloy? And just to add, all three of our guests today are Malloy Hall of Famers, and they're all in the Malloy Athletic Hall of Fame. So we'll start with Susan. How did Holy Trinity help you during your career at Malloy?
Well, I think that Trinity was always a place where you could actually be yourself. It celebrates differences in each person and values everybody. And I think Malloy has those same exact qualities. Academics was always a big priority. They allowed you to be forthcoming with your faith, which was important. So I think that helped me when I went to Malloy, and obviously in any career I had. I spent 20 years in the New York City Police Department, and I think I was prepared for that from Trinity. And now I'm the new role as the athletic director. When I was at Malloy, I'm definitely prepared because it's the same atmosphere. There's a lot of same importance, same value. So I feel that, they always get you prepared, and you're never going to be surprised at what you encounter. And I always felt like I could handle whatever I encountered because they empowered me to feel that way.
And Carla?
I would say the biggest thing for me was the family atmosphere, like especially at Malloy. So at Holy Trinity, when you're picking high schools, I went to a Catholic elementary school. So I was really close knit with the same kids for 12 years. So going to the next stage was just as important. And then obviously softball was like my I guess, help to get there, because I got to know the players and I knew how successful it was. So I felt like I could, I guess, also help in that realm. So then from Trinity to Malloy, obviously knowing Susan was super helpful because I knew what she did there was going to be the same thing at Malloy. So I guess the family atmosphere was the most important for me.
And Megan?
I agree with both Carla and Susan, especially the focus on academics. I felt that the class sizes and the way that things were done at Trinity as far as school and academics was very similar to Malloy. So that was definitely an easy transition for me. And the family atmosphere, just being in a close community of people that have the same values and the same goals, not just softball, but all the people that work at Trinity. And then going into Malloy, where you're in that same kind of family atmosphere, it was just like a continuation. It was such a great transition.
So you guys both graduated Malloy, and then two of you guys went on to coach at LIU Post against Susan in the same conference. What was it like coaching against Susan? We'll start with Megan.
Oh, that was pretty nerve-wracking my first year because of, I wanted to make her proud. I wanted to show that I had learned so much from her and make a difference on the LIU Post team. I didn't want it to be any hard feelings now that I was on the other side of the dugout. So that was, a little bit of an adjustment the first time I saw them on our field and at the Malloy field. But once I got out of my nerves a little bit, it was very professional, and I still had a lot to learn watching her coach, not from, a player standpoint, but from another coaching standpoint, and kind of seeing it a little bit differently, after graduating. So it was definitely still a learning process, and wanted to make her proud, definitely.
And then Carla, you coached against her at LIU Post, and now you coach against her as a head coach as a Delphi. What is that like?
Yeah, I just figured I'd keep the tradition, just keeping this thing going around. But at LIU, I learned a lot when I was a player, and I understood so much more of why she did certain things when you become a coach. So I think I got to see that. And then I was second with Megan. I was nervous. I don't know why, because she was there, and I didn't want to fail her in any way. But I took what she taught us, on the field as a player was very different than, presenting it as a coach. So that was a challenge, but I understood a lot of other things of why she did certain things, why she said certain things. And I wish I could go back learning that what I know now. And I still take it into where I am now as a head coach, which is completely different from where, I was as an assistant. And I learned so much there. but it's scary. Sometimes I think I say things that she used to say, and we talk about it as teammates. So, but it was a lot of lessons learned.
And Susan, what was it like coaching against two student athletes that you coached at Malloy?
Well, Patrick, it's very proud moments for us. I mean, I know they think that I was probably figuring out how they were doing and everything, but for us, it's very rewarding to see someone go on and do something that you did. And they're very good at what they do. And I'm proud of what they do. It's no better reflection on how I feel when I see them choosing the same profession that I have. So Megan's doing a great job at Holy Trinity, and I'm really looking forward to her getting back that Trinity winning tradition that we had back when she was a player and when Carla was a player. And Carla's doing a great job over to Delphi, and I'm really proud of both of them.
And then the last question for you guys today. There are a lot of student athletes sitting at home. Their season got postponed, canceled. They're looking for things to do so they sharpen their softball skills. What would you recommend them do so they're ready to get back on the field when the season resumes? And we'll start with Carla on this one.
So I would say to take at least 30 minutes to an hour every single day and dedicate it to something softball related, just to create a different routine for themselves, whether it's going out and, going for a run, or, doing some tee work or throwing, something to keep them busy and to get them outside so they're not stuck inside. Or even if they are stuck inside, they could watch something related to softball, maybe their favorite softball or baseball player that they can relate to, or, maybe write a letter to a teammate and show some appreciation to them and what they've done. Just something different that they normally wouldn't do. So something we've been working on is called something outside the box, where they create these tasks for each other and they try to do something that they normally wouldn't do, because this is a not normal time for everybody, that they're trying some new things. So those are some things that we tell our student athletes to try to do. We're trying to read some books together, not just softball talk, because that could get boring too. So
Susan?
Well, there's so much uncertainty about what's going on, and I guess it's really giving people time to reflect, and I would advise people to do that. I mean, for me, I'm like 24 hours nonstop, so for me to even take the time to reflect has been a bit of a challenge. But like I've said to every student athlete, everybody's experiencing the same thing you are. You're sitting out, not playing your sport. But this is an opportunity for them to get better, faster, wiser, stronger, and they're really going to be doing a disservice to themselves if they're not doing that. This is their opportunity to come back better. And I guess the other most important thing is they got to be grateful when they see they had so much freedom. Now, when you can't go out of the house and you're a little bit confined, it's a little bit different. So I think it gives everybody a different perspective. But I'm pretty sure that everybody's going to come back better after this.
And Megan?
That's a great point. I think as far as staying physically fit, they need to find new and creative ways to just kind of work out each day. From a pitching standpoint, there are a lot of drills that pitchers could do inside. I know when I had a few injuries back in the day and I couldn't really pitch, but I could still do things that made me a better pitcher with spins and working on those things. So even if they're stuck in their bedroom, they can roll up socks and work on their wrist snaps, or something as far as that. And I think also it's a good time to watch a lot of film. So when, Carla and I were younger, they didn't televise a lot of softball games. There was maybe one game at the end of the year, but now they have the SEC network and all these games that are on YouTube. I think girls should just watch a ton of softball and learn from what these, Olympians and the commentators and all the things that they can hear and see in a college level game.
Thank you for that. I want to thank Megan, Carla, and Susan for coming on this edition of Titan Talk. On Monday, we'll have Megan back with her assistant coaches and 3 senior student athletes. We're going to talk more about the season and what they've been up to. So thanks again for tuning in, and thanks again to our 3 guests.
Thank you, Patrick.
Thank you.
Thank you.